How was your day? Jambo sana. How did you fare today? So today I want to talk about HPV, the human papilloma virus. Who knows about this virus? I know about this virus, and I've not had this virus. However, because we talk about cancer a lot, I feel like today I just want to talk about cervical cancer. I've not had cervical cancer. I had breast cancer. However, I took out my cervix. You know, when I was taking out my ovaries and my uterus and my tubes, I also got rid of my cervix. Go away, dear cervix. You know, and all those were just in an attempt to try and avoid any type of hormonal related cancers that could come. But cervical cancer mostly is associated with the human papilloma virus. Now, the HPV, the human papilloma virus, guess what? People who don't know about the human papilloma virus, is it papilloma or papilloma? I think it's human papilloma virus. Do you know the carriers of this virus? Men. Men are the carriers of the human papilloma virus. And this is to people who are either married or they're not married but they are sexually active. Okay? And when I say sexually active, you get to that point where you're living your life praying and crossing your fingers that your spouse, which is your husband, is a responsible person. And it's the same thing. You could pray for HIV, human virus, and then there's human papilloma virus. All those viruses are fueled and spread through the sexually transmitted. Now, the men are the carriers of the virus. The men carry the human papilloma virus. And I don't know if it really affects them or they just carry it. However, when they transmit it to the women, this virus could, if you have had the HPV before, it could lead to cervical cancer. So you need to be on watch. You need to really watch yourself, go for checks, go for pap smears, just so that nothing comes and surprises you. Okay? Now, was it last month or in January? I think in January. January is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, and we had an event in Kenya, in a place called Oyugis in January, and we were educating people on cervical cancer. We had a cervical cancer survivor there, we had a medical practitioner there, and we were just talking to people. And what surprised us generally was the fact that even my mom, who is a retired nurse, my mom did not know that there is a vaccine that is used to prevent HPV. And this vaccine is given to young girls, I believe from age 9 to 13, right? Age 9 to 13. And actually my daughter is 9, she's turning 10. And guess what? I think this is a topic that I'm going to have with her doctor soon to, talk about the likelihood of her getting the HPV vaccine. Okay? Now, when the vaccine first came into light, people started associating, especially, I don't know if it's the same here in the US or other Western countries, but I know in a lot of developing countries, especially Kenya, I used to hear people talk about don't take your child to go get the vaccine, because this is something that they are using to regulate the population in Africa. They want to decrease the population in Africa, in Kenya, in wherever. And I was like, really, guys? Really? Is it time for such politics? Life has changed. You will bring up your child and tell them, hey, you cannot get involved in any sexual activity until you're married, because, oh, that is not what God likes. No, this is what the Bible says, blah, blah, blah. But you will teach them, you will tell them, you will show them what your ideals are. However, you will not control them. You will not be with them when they're in college. You will not be with them when they're hanging out with friends. You will not be with them when they're traveling. So if you get them to get the vaccine, then at least you have done something as a parent to try and protect your child against the human papilloma virus. Because you don't want to regret one time when another time she's already working and maybe she's in a different town from you, and then she calls you mom and she's sobbing. She's crying, mom, I have cervical cancer. Yet maybe in your mind and in your head, you can remember a time when someone told you, hey, you need to take your child to get the vaccine. And you said, no way, not my child, no way. So if you have girls, if you're a mother of girls, please let your children get the human papilloma virus vaccine. Okay? And guess what? That is what I wanted to talk about today. Cervical cancer most of the time is not hormonal. Cervical cancer is not really as hormonal as breast cancer, as ovarian cancer, and as uterine cancer. Even prostate cancer is hormonal. And is it, what's the name of the one for next month? Testicular cancer. Testicular cancer is also hormonal. However, cervical cancer is really not hormonal. Anal cancer is really not hormonal. So it cannot be prevented or slowed down by, taking therapy that are meant for hormone. Yes, prostate is for only males, yes. You think I hope you don't think that if it is only for males, it is not hormonal. Even men have hormones, okay? I know, only men have prostate. We don't have prostate. However, prostate cancer is hormonal, okay? So you have to always, coming back to men, you need to always go in, for your routine checks. I know men, I've had discussions with men, and men are always not comfortable, going in. Can you still take the vaccine if you have the HPV? Once you have the HPV, you have the HPV. I'm really not sure. That point, I'm not sure. So I think that's a good question that you can ask the doctors concerned. You can ask your gynecologist. However, the vaccine is in most cases taken to prevent getting the HPV. Okay, so once you've gotten HPV is a virus that once you have had it may still linger. So the lingering of it in your body is what may lead to cervical cancer. But it's not that everybody who has ever had HPV will end up getting cervical cancer. No. However, it is a high drive to cervical cancer. So once you've already gotten it, then even if you're given the vaccine, it's not preventative, because the vaccine is preventative. Colonoscopy is done for both female and male. It's just the same. When you go in for colonoscopy, they use the anal area is where they put in the camera. They don't use any other opening except the anal area. So it's hard for everybody, because It is very, very intrusive. Colonoscopy is very intrusive for anybody, whether male or female. It is a very hard, test because male resisted. Oh, I don't know. I live with a male here who doesn't resist it. He goes for his colonoscopy. My husband does his colonoscopy. I've also done colonoscopy. I think I've done colonoscopy twice. And he's here standing, staring at me like tonight he's going to beat me up. But he's looking at me and he has a smile next to his lips. He thinks I don't know him. He's like, why is she saying this? This woman, this mouth of hers. But I'm lying, eh? I gave you a ride when you're waking up like, that day I was so happy, man. Just the fact that I could do something for you. Someone is laughing at you here. And someone is asking, and can the HPV be treated? Yeah. They normally say HPV is treated but may not be curable. That's why they normally associate it with cervical cancer. Okay? But for some cases it's treated until it goes away. Yeah. But once you've had the HPV, the human papilloma virus, you need to make sure you're proactive. You need to make sure you're proactive in checking yourself. You're proactive in making sure that you have your pap smears done within the intervals that they're supposed to be done. Okay? After HPV, you don't want to be, playing around with your, especially well woman check. Okay? Yeah. Because many times, like I've said, cervical cancer is associated with HPV. Yeah. Okay? There are some people that I've seen, just like people like me who decide, oh, because cancer came once, let me take out all this breast. There are some people that I've seen, once they've had all the children that they wanted to have, they take out their cervix, because you can't imagine giving birth without a cervix, because it's the one that helps to stretch and all that. But some people have decided, you know what, I had HPV before, I'm taking out this cervix. So those are preventative measures that some people still go ahead to do, to reduce chances. Thank you for such great questions. Oh, yeah. Prostate, most of the time. Prostate affects older male. But men, I've seen the trend going up with colon cancer and young men between 35 to 50. So that also should be something that men also, as much as even women should check, because even women get colon cancer. But I remember having this discussion with one of my doctors, and he was also of the opinion that the number of prostate cancer amongst the males between 35 and 50 is really skyrocketing. Is that age related? I don't know. I'm not sure. But you're right. Many of the males that I've seen as having prostate cancer are men that are older. That's one thing that I've not seen with a younger man. That's something I've not seen. But you never know, because even breast cancer, they used to say, 40 and above. But now even teenagers are getting breast cancer. So the world is, a lot of things are changing. I think also it could be, associated with the chemicals in the air, the foods that people eat, and things like that. Things that we interact with on a daily basis could be the cause of the increase of all the cancer diagnosis that we can see happening. There's a lot of people being diagnosed with cancer every day, especially Kenya. And other countries, but I can only speak for Kenya because that's where I'm a native of Kenya. Yeah. So we just have to be on the watch. You have to be on the watch. Yeah. Make sure you go for your pap smear if you've never gone for pap smear. Go for your mammograms if you've never gone for mammogram. Those things are meant to help you, to know where you are at on a spectrum or on a line of numbers. You know where you fall. Are you on the 6 or are you on the 2? You know, that's what we're looking for. Yeah. All right. Bye for now. See you tomorrow, guys.